hey.
What's up, husbands and wives and future husbands and wives?
Listen, we're going to start calling y'all because you've been listening to us now for 4 episodes. So you are a power cord couple. I'm going to just tell you that. You are a power cord couple. Make some noise for yourselves. You made it. Listen, you sat with us. You've listened to us, watched us now. You are a power cord couple. Now, some of you might, here's the thing. Some of you probably say, well, I'm not listening to it with my spouse. Well, I just say you're a power cord couple because you are listening to it with your Christ.
That's good.
All right, because Christ is speaking through this. And again, you have to be married to Christ as you're married to your spouse. And so what you're doing is you're preparing, you are setting the groundwork for a power cord couple. A lot of people talk about being a power couple, and that's great. But you can't be a power couple unless you're powered by the right one.
That's good.
And so I like that. So today we're going to be dealing with embracing the one.
Embracing the one.
When I met Star, I was like, wow, that is the one. Well, why am I telling an untruth? When I met Star, I didn't say that. Because when we first met, there was no the one, like that wasn't in the picture.
When you met me with new eyes.
Yeah, when I discovered you, that's right.
You gotta make it work.
When I discovered you, because I guess I didn't have the right eyes. I needed glasses, I guess. But when I discovered and found, like the scripture says, he that findeth a wife,
that's good.
Wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. When I found the wife, a lot of people think finding means when you go and look for somebody and you find them. Nope, it's a discovery. Like, because you can meet somebody and still not find that somebody. You can meet your spouse and not find that spouse because when you met them, you didn't see them as a spouse. And so I'm wondering sometimes how many people are in marriages still not finding their spouses.
That's good. But even so, let's take that back. The first time we met each other, we actually were in the same group and it was nothing like that. But even after being aware of whatever was happening at that time, I'm not sure. That's another story for another day. But even after that time, when I started initiating, if you will, you still, like, even when you knew that, like, the first time was like just nothing. But the second time, it was something, but you was trying to play hard to get. But that's another story. So you didn't want to find, you didn't want to look.
Well, that's the thing. And that's what I'm talking about, finding and discovery, because some people get married for all the wrong reasons.
That's true.
They do. And so they don't really find a spouse, but they want to find a spouse. Or they hope that person, they hope that they can get married and make somebody into the husband they want them to be, or into the wife they want them to be. But you can't make anybody into anything you want them to be because you didn't create them. So you don't have that power to make anybody. I want y'all to hear that, because you don't want to have a manipulation marriage.
That's good.
You don't want the power cord or the power couple marriage to be powered by you. That's stress and that's controlling. And so that's not it. And so why am I saying that? I'm saying it because when I met you and didn't find you to be my wife,
he did not,
I didn't embrace you. So I'm saying you're the one. And so our topic today is embracing the one.
Embracing the one.
But I'm literally telling you right now, I did not embrace the one when I met you. So who is the one that we're talking about? Well, I wanted to submit to you today. We want to submit today that there are two the ones from your perspective in your marriage. Okay. And so we're going to talk about embracing the one.
Embracing the one. And so what is Hayward saying when he's saying embrace the one? And that is, you cannot embrace each other. Wives, you cannot embrace your husband. Or husbands, you cannot fully embrace your wife until you embrace Christ.
That's right.
We often say, Christ in the church marriage, Christ in the church marriage. And let me just be transparent. Even we got married as a young saved couple. Like, we were saved. We both love God. And you could not tell me I wasn't saved and sanctified. You couldn't tell him he wasn't saved and sanctified. But when it came to actually getting married, then it was like the reflection of what was happening or what we were doing. When I look back on, I'm like, did I really, really embrace Christ? So it's not like we jumped into marriage we got married at 23. So, and Hayward often says, like, what was we thinking?
Yeah,
like,
I look back, I look at some of these,
like, what in the world
I look at some of these 23-year-olds now, I'm like,
like, what? We really thought we was grown.
Because you're still finding yourself.
We was finding ourselves.
You ain't embraced yourself yet.
Yeah.
Really at that age. But
right.
man,
So it's like we both love God.
yeah.
But when it came to marriage, especially in the beginning, that thing was like tried, like trying to really figure out, like, do you really love God? Because there's a pressing that came in the beginning when we were young, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought you were saved. I thought you were saved. I am saved. You know, all of that. And so, as God began to grow us in marriage, and God began to download and minister us and minister to us and teach us about marriage, that's when He gave you the revelation. Like, wait a minute, we can't fully embrace each other until we fully embrace Christ. Now, not the image of Christ for other people, but like fully embrace who Christ is in your life when nobody else is looking.
Yeah.
Like the revelation of God, the word, you secret, like in behind closed doors. Because a lot of church people, you can look like church. You know, you put your outfit on, you go to church, you can raise your hand, do all those things. But what really happens, you got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When nobody is looking but Him looking. And so that's what we want to talk about. Like, sometimes, like, actually reflect and look at yourselves in marriage and say, wait a minute, am I not fully able to embrace what you can do for me? And not just what you can do for me, but how can you support me? How
Yeah.
can you love me? Like, because it goes two ways.
Yeah.
I can receive your embrace,
Yeah.
but I can also embrace you. And it's like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
If I'm not doing it with Christ.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I want y'all to hear this too, because when we talk about marriage, when you're marrying each other, you're not marrying each other's actions. You're marrying
That's good.
the people. You're marrying that person, because there are a lot of people that can do things that your husband can do, or things your spouse can do.
That's so
support
true.
all the natural things. And there was a time I heard Dr. Miles Monroe talk about this, about roles in marriage, and how the roles way back when, where it was about actions. We got married because of what we can do for each other. I go out and I kill the animal, and you, as a spouse, you go in and you cook the animal. I go out and I work in the fields, and you take care of the children. And it was a more of an industrial type purpose of working. And as things have changed, and the Lord has blessed humans with this genius to be able to now make it easier to, like, we go to work. You can handle, you can do it differently now. We don't have to work all the way in the gardens just to get food. And I need you to, now you can have a career now. Like, you can be out, and our children can be raised and taught in schools, and so their roles have changed. And so it in order for it to be about embracing the one, it's almost like the law and into grace. How as Christians, there was a time when the law was the thing that was the key to our salvation, where you had to do. And now it's all about what is in your heart now, because Jesus fulfilled the law. So we come under grace now. And so with grace comes the true way to embrace, because I'm not just embracing what you can do for me. I'm embracing who you are to me.
That's good.
And so with that comes acceptance. So when we hear embrace, I want y'all to think about the word acceptance.
That's good.
Because a lot of people understand that whenever you get married to someone, whenever you embrace someone, so we talk about the power cord, because the cord causes you to accept and embrace it. You kind of get wrapped up into it. When you do that, you're wrapped up into all that person is.
Yeah.
All of their history, their entire backgrounds, all they bring to the table, what they told you about themselves, and what they did not tell you about themselves.
That's really
because all of that has made that person who they are today. And sometimes we get into a marriage not having disclosed everything about ourselves, because there might be shame there.
Yeah.
So now you're embracing insecurity, you're embracing instability, you're embracing fear, as well as embracing the confidence and the thing that person. So embrace now is about accepting who that person is. And sometimes, just like Facebook, I can embrace what you share with me on Facebook, but it's hard to embrace the things that you don't share with me on Facebook.
That's right.
And so in marriage, you got to embrace the Facebook part of that spouse. And I'm not endorsing Facebook. I'm just saying the people the things you want that spouse to know about you, and you embrace the thing that has helped to influence the spouse you have with you, even if it's things they did not say. That's and good. So with that starts to come what you do that I might not like. That's why it can't be about your actions, because your actions may change, and who you are sometimes will allow me what you do also sometimes could allow me to see you in a different light. And now I'm wondering if I accept you anymore because you did something that doesn't match. You did something that didn't match who I accepted.
Wow.
Your actions now don't line up with the person I looked in the eyes and said, I do to. And so how do I make it through this? And that's what a lot of people are struggling right now in their marriages, because how do I make it with someone whose actions don't show the person that I married? Your actions don't show the person that I married now. How do I embrace that? And that's what we're talking about. The strength to embrace, the strength to endure, the embrace when it's not a preferable and it's not an ideal situation you're in, when something bad happened, when you hurt each other, the strength to be able to make it through that. That's where the power comes. You're not a power couple because you both do great things and people like y'all. You're a power couple because you know how to go through trials and still embrace each other.
That's good.
We said that's the only way you can really embrace somebody that way is when you embrace the one, which is Christ.
Right.
Whenever you have a foundation that is not built on your love for each other, but built on your love for God for each other, then you're able to properly, truly have an effective embrace in your marriage.
So that makes me think about something. Do you think that, okay, so I always believe that, especially the society that we live in now, we are at a place now in the world where it's like, if I don't accept your negative behavior or your stupidity or the dumb things that you do, then that means I don't love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not true. Like, I can love you, especially when it comes to husbands and wives and family. I love you. I love you dearly. And I don't want anything to happen to you.
Yeah.
But loving you does not mean accepting all that mess that you're doing that my lifestyle doesn't agree with.
Right.
And so in marriage, when that happens, you know, sometimes it's like, wait a minute now, like, you got to take me as I am and take me like this and take me like that. Like, I love you. I want the best for you. I want the best for us. But you can't be out here in these streets acting crazy. And it's a reflection of us because people thinking I'm condoning that. So when people get married, and say, for instance, if I lied to you about who I am because I wanted to pretend like it never existed, or, you know, we all came into our marriage with baggage in the past, and being transparent that there's just things in life was like, I want to just act like that never happened because I want to be this new person. And so that doesn't exist. So when people, there's some that tell those things up front to give the spouse an opportunity to say, yeah, this might not be for me, or I still accept you. Or there's times when people don't say it because they're afraid, and then it starts to surface in their marriage. So at that point, should we stick it out? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so you have the potential to be the person that you lied about. You know what I mean? Like, you have that potential to be that person you lied about. Do I embrace, like, man, like, okay, so you came in here not telling me all the truth. So what do we do from this point on? I mean, like, because there's a quote in our Power Core book, guys. I'm gonna read this quote in our book. It's from the Power Core Prayer Journal, and it says, "Keep your hearts close to God as He keeps your hearts pure for marriage."
That's right. That's right, y'all. Listen, you can't have a God-ish marriage because a God-ish marriage leads to a godless marriage. Nice. It is. If you're God-ish, if you're saying God doesn't apply to our marriage, it's only because you didn't apply God to your marriage.
I like it. That's good.
You gotta apply God to your marriage for God to apply to your marriage. If not, He doesn't apply because He hadn't been invited. He doesn't apply because He's not been included. He doesn't apply because He's not been embraced.
Wow.
Listen, how can you go to God to be married and then go to the courts to break it apart? You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't embrace the one that married y'all. Think about it. You went to a priest to marry you. The priest stands in place of God. That's you almost saying, I'm embracing your endorsement of this marriage, because the priest, who is the God representative, the one that brings you together, the Bible said, what God has put together, let no man split or take apart. Let no man split it apart. Let no man put asunder. Meaning, what God has caused you all to embrace, God caused y'all to embrace each other. Don't let yourselves or anybody else separate it. And so if that's the case, if God is the one that brought you together, He's the only one that can keep you together. And that's the case. We got to cling to Him so that you can properly cling to each other and not fall apart.
I love it.
Listen, we're going to go deeper into this. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in our next episode, y'all. So please stay tuned.
Keep riding with us, y'all.
Listen, we want you to embrace each other.
That's it.
But the way you do that is for two of you to embrace the one.
That's
you can't embrace the one.
That's it.
Until you embrace the one. Listen, we're here to speak life to your marriage.
Speak life in your marriage and speak life over your marriage. Peace.
All right.